Tim Cook, Apple CEO, went on Cramer the other night, trying to, convince investors and shareholders that everything's A-OK. And one of his quotes that you sent to me before the show, and I'm quoting here, Tim Cook, "We are going to give you things that you can't live without, that you just don't know you need today."
Yeah.
Well, Jason, I just don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Well,
they've been saying over at Apple that the pipeline is strong, that there are more products coming, the next iPhone, the next iPad, the next whatever. The watch was an attempt at that. I think that largely has flubbed. I'm not confident personally in Apple's pipeline, and I think that's drawing a lot of fire from investors these days. What's your take, first of all, on Tim Cook's comments from the show the other night?
Yeah, I think so. I think with Apple, let's separate the stock from the business, right?
Okay.
Because I think they each deserve their own fair consideration. I mean, from a business perspective, this is a phenomenal company, right? I mean, it's huge, balance sheet of just a fortress there, and a lot of different resources and ways they can go, and it's obviously one of the most important businesses of our time. Apple, the stock, though, yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a different story right now. And I'm not sure that there is an easy answer there. I mean, I am growing a little bit tired of hearing Tim Cook say that as well. Like, I mean, he's every call, he's talking about the pipeline and these products that you're going to need that you don't even know you need. And that sort of sounds familiar because I think that's what Jobs was always really good at doing, was giving us things we didn't even really know we wanted or needed.
Just one more thing.
And just one more thing. And I mean, I think that a lot of people are investing in Apple these days because they think it's dirt cheap and they think that that's a reason to invest.
Okay.
And I get that. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with the idea that it is cheap. It sells for something like 10 times earnings, and backing the cash out of the balance sheet there, it's pretty phenomenal. Mm-hmm. By the same token, I think that a lot of this story is very well known already. We know they're going to pay a dividend. We know they're going to keep on buying back shares. I think a lot of that is priced in. Maybe not all of it, but I think a lot of it is, because the market generally is a forward-looking mechanism. And with Tim Cook, I think that Tim Cook has done a wonderful job in managing this business. I think Tim Cook is not an innovator, and I'm not saying innovating is easy either. I mean, I think innovating is something that is very unique, and that's why you don't see it happening all the time. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So I think Tim Cook is basically doing the best he can. I think he's making the best of a given situation, and I don't know that it's fair to really expect much more from him. I tend to agree with you. I think the watch is probably going to be. I think it's done basically what I always kind of thought it would do. It's done okay.
Sure.
It's not going to be a new direction for the company, I don't think. I think they're facing a lot of challenges on the tablet front. I think the phone is certainly becoming more and more commoditized as time goes on. And I think that as technology improves and more companies out there are doing more things, I think that Apple's sort of closed ecosystem becomes less attractive. I think that most people like to be able to utilize all of the options that are out there. A number of people love Apple and only want to use Apple. That's great. Have at it. But a number of people also want to be able to use everything else that's out there and maybe have an iPhone while they're at it. And that's cool too. I think that you look at the stock. I saw a tweet from Joe Mager maybe a week ago or so that I think really sort of sums this all up. And you look at when Tim Cook took over in 2011, I believe it was, they first implemented a dividend in 2012. But you look at that stock from 2012 to today, and it's clearly underperformed the market, even with the dividend and buying back the shares and everything. And I think that's for a number of reasons. But I think part of it is it's obviously a very big company. They are trying to sell hardware at a high price point, which is not going to work everywhere. And there's a reason why the majority of the world is using Android and not Apple, because I think people tend to want to be able to utilize all of the options that are out there. So I think Apple stands the chance to do very well. I think they're going to need to make some acquisitions. I think a catalyst could be in that balance sheet because so much of that money is overseas. I'd love to see our government here offer up a tax holiday and let some of these companies repatriate some of that cash.
Sure.
I think they could do a lot of great things with it, and shareholders could really win from that. who knows what's going to happen on that front. I do think that a lot of people are probably getting a little bit tired of sort of the just wait, we've got a great pipeline talk, because you know what? I'm just not seeing it yet.
Been waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
Apple shares closed down for an 8th straight day yesterday, which might just be a non-headline, but it's the headline today. That's the first time this has happened since July 1998. The stock has lost 11% since April 26th. In your mind, it's looking a little cheap. Is now the time to buy?
I think if you're looking for a steady dividend play that you can sleep well at night knowing is in your portfolio, I think Apple is a very fine stock to own. You have to put it in context, too, and try to figure out, how does this stock double? I mean, it's already a huge company, so you need to keep your expectations in check. This is a far different Apple than it was 5 years ago. But I think it's a great company that's doing great things, and I think they have a lot of opportunities to take the business in new directions. So, I wouldn't be backing up the truck on the stock today. I think that it's cheap for a reason, and I don't know that there's necessarily a catalyst that takes this thing to the moon. But it's a very high-quality business, and I think Tim Cook has done a very fine job given the situation. He's not Steve Jobs. We all knew that. I think that's the biggest challenge for him, is trying to figure out what the next innovations are, and he's got a great team there. It's just probably taking a little bit more time than a lot of people feel like they have.
Waiting and seeing and hoping and wishing and praying.
Hey, I still like my iPhone.
Sure. Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.